and everyone. I am Dr. Monika Agarwal, Assistant Professor, AKGEC Engineering College, Ghaziabad. My subject Soft Skill 1, Code KNC 101. The title of today's lecture is Public Speaking. The content of today's lecture has, first of all, what is public speaking, then advantages of public speaking, audience analysis for public speaking, the approach and style for public speaking. Stage fear is a very common term. It is the fear of public speaking and it is a very common experience also. It is a normal thing with people when they have to face an audience, they have to speak in front of an audience, they feel a kind of anxiety, they become nervous. It is a normal thing. Okay? But developing soft skills for the purpose of public speaking can help a person face this fear confidently. Public speaking is also a kind of skill that can be achieved and that can be enhanced through practice, because anyone whose job involves communicating, like teaching or persuading the other person, he or she will do a better job if he or she has public speaking skills. So, public speaking skills can be achieved, can be developed and can be enhanced. What is public speaking? Very common concept is that it occurs when you give a speech before a live audience. A person is standing in front of a live audience and he has to deliver a speech for some purpose. And this type of speaking differs from other types of speaking. There are other kinds of speaking facing an audience, that is through a video or some presentation given online. Okay. These things can be created and then can be uploaded to the internet or to the relevant site. But actually facing a live audience, standing in front of an audience, needs a courage and practice to complete the task. Okay. So, public speakers make presentations to a group. Okay. Here the person has to face a group of people who are eagerly listening to him, or if they are not listening to him, he has to make them listen to him. So, public speakers make a presentation in front of a group of people, that is a group which is there with some specific purpose, with some specific expectations. So, presentation range from speaking to a small group of people or a small group of employees to presenting to a large audience which has a mixture of all the type of you can say gentry there. Okay. That is a populace which has all the type of people there from all the category. Okay. It may be some formal speaking, it may be some informal speaking. Okay. It may be speaking at a national conference, it may be speaking in some public event. So, this public speaking has a wide range. Okay. If we are facing a small group of people, 2, 3, 4 people, that is also the same, and somewhat the same courage and the same practice is needed when we have to face a large audience. In the nutshell, public speaking is a soft skill. It falls in the category of soft skills that requires excellent communication skills. Okay. Communication skills are related to your command over a particular language and your practice with the oral form of that language. Along with that, a person needs enthusiasm. Okay. Because that zeal should be there to convey your message to a public, okay, a large group of audience. For that you need a zeal and enthusiasm and the ability to engage with an audience. It is also an aspect of public speaking that a person has to have that ability to engage with the audience, to keep the audience interested throughout. Okay. So, the same skill sets and ability to be comfortable speaking in public required regardless of the size of the group of audience. Okay. So, we should keep in mind that it does not matter whether the group of people is large or very large or small. Okay. The same kind of ability is required, the same skill set is required to be comfortable while speaking in public. So, we know that public speaking is a part of some professional posts, but before that public speaking practice is generally used as a therapeutic exercise for improving the confidence level of people. Some people get very nervous, they get very high level of anxiety while facing a single person also. In that situation also, this kind of exercise is uh, designed for them to speak in front of public, okay, and there they improve their confidence level. And on the other hand, for a professional, the more a person speaks in public or gives public speeches, the better his confidence level becomes. So, it improves the confidence level. Another point is that if you are a good public speaker, you have an opportunity to champion your cause. Okay, champion that cause which you care about. Means if you want to make people listen to you, to make people follow you, to make people come with you, public speaking skills are a great tool. Okay, it gives an opportunity to influence people, and that is the sheer purpose of public speaking. Okay. So, candidates with strong public speaking skills are in demand for many occupations. No matter that this public speaker has no such job profile as such in any company, but this skill for public speaking is in demand for many kinds of occupations, and that is there because speaking in public is a requirement, or it is a required ability in a person, because he or she has to speak to a group for one or the other purpose. Okay. So, many professional roles require some amount of public speaking. In fact, when we have to face the customers, there also we have to address to customers. It may be a single person, it may be a group of people. Okay. In meetings and in other board, you can say gatherings, okay, group communication, people have to present their findings, their observations. People have to give an you can say offer a proposal. They have to put forth a proposal. Okay. Sometimes people have to train their junior staff. Okay. And sometimes people have to lead a meeting. So, these are the various occasions where most of the professional roles required some amount of public speaking skills. Okay. So, a dynamic and a very well prepared speaker is highly valued by the employers, and this type of ability is tested during the interview, job interview. Okay. This is a communication skill and this is a soft skill that is tested for getting the suitable candidate for the post. Okay. So, the employers value a public speaker much. If you have that experience, you can show your that experience into your profile in your resume, and that will give you an advantage. Okay. Because the people who are good public speaker, they tend to earn higher position, they tend to improve, they tend to get promoted to certain leadership positions. Okay. So, the person with public speaking skills has the higher chances to get promoted, to get exposure, and to get the appreciation of the people around him. Okay. And such people who are good public speaker, they are made to deal with clients, important clients. They are there to show their skills at persuading people. Okay. So, public speaking skills has many advantages. To understand it well, we must understand that to be a public speaker means to speak in front of public. We have to pay attention to three factors. There are three factors which should be taken care of. Okay. These three factors include, first of all, the substance, then style, and then staging. Okay. This includes all the, you can say, aspects of public speaking. Substance means the content of your message. Okay. Why you are speaking, what is the purpose of your speaking. So, the content of your message should be carefully prepared. It is the core message which you want to convey to your audience. Okay. So, whatever your purpose of speaking is, you have to collect the relevant information, relevant matter. You have to create your speech, you have to prepare your matter, organize your matter. There should be proper opening, proper closing. Okay. The key points should be emphasized, the stories or other illustrations to give certain evidences and to entertain your audience with the help of humor and a pinch of passions. So, this is the gist of preparation for making a meaningful substance. Second thing is style. Style is the way in which the content is delivered. We know what is the common meaning of the word style. Style means the way we do certain things, the fashion with which we do certain things. So, this includes all the techniques which help a public speaker to differentiate time to time in the way of speaking, okay, in the body movement, like gestures, in the postures, the voice, the speed, the pitch. All these things are called voice modulation. Okay. In fact, the use of pauses also, where to pause, where to take a small pause, where to take a big pause to make an effect over your audience, and the eye contact and eye movement over your audience. These things go hand in hand with your content. So, styling is the way to deliver the content. What would be the mode of speech? Okay, how we have to present that matter with the help of the mode of speech, whether we have to memorize it or we have to read from the notes. What amount of audiovisual aid I am going to use? These things are included in the style part of your public speaking. Then comes staging. Staging is related to the locale, the place, okay, the venue. Okay, you should be aware of the venue. Okay, you should know what is the facility for public addressing, the public address system. Okay, as well as the person should be much familiar with the audiovisual equipments there, how to handle this. If he is using a PowerPoint presentation, the how to handle this thing. Okay, all the other visual aids, what would be the sitting arrangement, what would be the facility on the stage, okay, and how he has to convey the material in flow, in a coherent manner. Okay. So, these things are related to the locale or the staging, right. The person should be very well aware of the venue and the other facilities. One other aspect of staging is dealing with audience. Okay. Dealing with audience, the audience reactions and behavior, that is a part of staging, that there you should be well prepared and quite confident in dealing with your audience's reactions which you get on the spot, and the behavior, the attitude which you feel on the spot. For that you have to know your audience. So, the other important aspect of public speaking is audience analysis, right. We know that we as a public speaker have to face a group of people known as audience. Okay. Whether it is a small group of people or a large group of people in some conference or in some other big event, all the audience have one thing in common, that is that they are at the receiving end. They are at the receiving end. Means these audience are there receive something, receiving end of our communication. Okay. The audience may be familiar to us, it may be comprised of our clients, it may be of colleagues or our seniors, or a mixture of some all kind of variety of people. The audience may be familiar or unfamiliar. Okay. It is the possibility in every public speech. But the nature of our audience has a direct impact on the approach and style which we use during our public speech. Okay. So, we must understand the nature of our audience, because it has a direct relation with the approach and the style which we are going to decide for our speaking or our presentation. Okay. So, it is necessary to have some prior information, some prior knowledge of our audience characteristics. We can call it the audience analysis. We should know who are our audience. So, for understanding our audience's characteristics or for doing audience analysis, there are certain points which are laid down by various researchers, and these are the common points which should be taken care of and which should be found the answers of to understand our audience. Okay. We must know our audience. And what to know about our audience? First of all, what are their interests, likes and dislikes? It is very important to know that what is the purpose of the people sitting as audience to give a presenter an audience. Means why are they sitting there? What is their interest to be an audience? Okay. What would be their expectations? Okay. What would be there which they are not going to like? Okay. They are going to dislike, or what they are going to like. Okay. These things should be thought about and prepared for in our speech. So, we must know what is the purpose or what is the interest of the people sitting there as our audience, and this can be done only with the help of the organizer. So, it is very important that the channel to know our audience is our organizer. We must contact the organizer to know about the nature or the characteristics of the audience. This is the way. Okay. If we are going to speak in some conference or speak in some seminar, then we can have an idea of our audience with the help of the brochure. Okay. If you are the only speaker there in that event, then you are going to have an idea with the help of the organizer. Okay. The second question is that are my audience familiar with the topic? Are they familiar with the topic? Do they already have some understanding regarding the topic which is going to be taken during the public speech? Okay. That is very important, because if you know that they are not much familiar with the topic, you have to explain certain things in certain details so that people are in a position to understand the thought. Okay. If you know that they are familiar and they have a certain level of understanding regarding that topic, you can go much in advanced levels. You can take some concepts for granted and you can continue to the further levels. So, this is necessary to know the level of the understanding or the knowledge or the familiarity of the audience with the taken up topic. Okay. Next is, what is the size of group? Okay. It is very important to maintain our level of confidence to know what is the size of our group. Is it a small size audience means less number of people, or a middle size means we are going to have a considerably large group, or it is going to be a very large audience. We must have an idea, otherwise if we do not have an idea in advance, then if we see a large crowd or a large audience in a large auditorium in front of us without any prior information, then we will be at risk of losing our confidence. So, to maintain our confidence and to maintain the level of preparation for that speech, we must know the size of the audience. Okay. Next is that what is the age range? Okay, means you can have an idea about the range of the age. Okay, is there a mixture of all the people of from all the age groups, or it is going to be a particular age group like teenagers or the youngsters or the middle aged people or the senior citizen, whatever is the ratio or the you can say proportion of the age range. Okay. Next thing is background. Okay. We should have an idea of the background of your audience, like socio-cultural background, means from which you can say geographical area they belong to, or is it a mixture of all the people coming from different geographical areas, as is the culture these days, that these days in due to the globalization we find people at one place from various geographical surroundings, from various geographical backgrounds. So, we must have an idea about the you can say background of the audience regarding socio cultural, economic, or you can say educational background, right. Gender distribution also is important. Are you going to address to an audience where most of the audience members are male or female, or it is a mixture, a balanced mixture of people? Okay. This is going to help you take the examples, because we can relate our illustrations and examples to the experience of people. Okay. The very important thing is that to be an effective public speaker, we must categorize our audience and identify our audience as primary audience and secondary audience. Okay. Primary audience are the our target audience, who are the decision makers. If you are speaking to influence the people, okay, and you want to change the behavior or the decisions of the people, you must know who are the primary audience there. Primary audience there means the people who are going to be the opinion molders. Because say if there are 200 people in your audience, okay, there will be hardly 5, 4, 3, 2 people whose opinion is going to affect the opinion of the other people. Those people are primary audience. So, we must have an idea of the people who are most important there with the help of the organizer, because their decision is going to make the decision of the other people. So, you have to target those audience, and you have to keep looking at those members in your audience, and you have to keep in focus their reactions, their responses and their feedback. Okay. The other type of audience is taken as secondary audience, means these secondary audience are the follower, the remaining people who are going to be affected, who are going to be governed by the decisions and opinions of our primary audience. Okay. So, this is the minimum you can say profile of your audience which you have to develop. Okay. You should know your audience at minimum these points. So, after knowing your audience, now you have to decide your approach and style. So, there are certain practical you can say points to keep in mind to modulate your style and to fix your approach. First of all, as we have said, that assessing the need and priorities of your potential audience. That is the very first point in your approach. You should know what is the need, what is the expectation, what is the you can say requirement or the priorities of your potential audience. Okay. Second thing is grabbing the attention of the audience with a powerful opening. This powerful opening is going to lead to your speech to the path of success, right? If you open very effectively, if you are able to catch the attention of your audience in the beginning, either with the help of a very emphatic statement or with the help of some very warm and sincere greeting, whatever is the way, or to asking question, okay, which can grab the attention of your audience, then you are sure to get and maintain the attention of your audience throughout. Okay. Next thing is that you have to create attractive PowerPoint slides, okay, with the right amount of details. Not much matter should be given on one slide, and the font should be visible from a certain distance. The font should be very simple, easy to read. Okay. You can give some illustrations, you can give some pictures, some videos, audios, but there should be no much, you can say, overcrowded gimmicks of that audio video in your PowerPoint slides. So, you have to create attractive PowerPoint slides with the right amount of detail. There should be no paragraphs as such, the thing should be given in bullets. Okay. Then comes organizing a logical flow to speech. Okay. You have to give a speech in a logical flow. The coming sentence, the coming point should be related to the previous point. Okay. There should be no jerk, there should be no gap. Okay. The flow of thought should be coherent. So, that is important to keep the effect of your speech. Okay. Preparing examples which are relevant. Okay. You have to give examples which are relevant to the experience of your expected audience. That is why you should know what is the age group, you should know what is the gender, you should know what is the cultural background, because you have to cite certain examples, give certain, you can say, illustrations, and those examples should be relevant to the experience of the expected audience, so that they can understand those examples. If they are unaware of that situation which you are giving as an example, there is no use of giving that example. That is why you should have to prepare relevant examples with the help of audience analysis. Then rehearsing the presentation and revising rough spots. Rehearsing is the key word here. You cannot just prepare your PowerPoint slides and straight away go to the venue and start presenting or start speaking. Okay. For public speaking, you have to make a sufficient rehearsals. You have to give a practice to yourself, either with the help of some other person or speaking in front of a mirror. Okay. You have to give yourself a proper practice, and then you have to find where you become slightly, you can say, you fail, or what are the rough spots in your speech or in your content. You can find those things and you can rectify those things. Okay. Memorizing enough content is necessary, because it is not sufficient to put all the content in the form of slides and not memorizing certain things, because if you do not memorize certain content, it will appear as if you are reading from notes or slides. To avoid that impression, you have to memorize certain phrases or certain, you can say, figures, whatever you find memorizing easy, okay, and relevant. You have to memorize that part. Okay. Restating critical points. You have to re-emphasize and repeat the important points of your speech, because this repetition is going to reinforce the key concept. So, that is a part of preparation for speaking. Another set of you can approach is that our articulation should be clear. That is related to styling. Okay. That we have to speak in a clear articulation. Our pronunciation, our articulation, our speed should be proper, so that our audience is able to understand us. Okay, right. Next thing is that we have to take deep breaths. We have to have sufficient water before starting to speak in public, so that we can control our performance anxiety. Okay, that is going to make us keep calm, and we have to take deep breath so that we can control the anxiety level. Okay. We have to maintain an eye contact with our audience. That is the part of style, that without looking at your audience you cannot leave an impression. You have to look at your audience, you have to keep your eye moving throughout your audience. You have to in fact cover the whole group of people by moving your eyes on the audience. You have to maintain very soft and very sincere eye contact with your audience, and that will show your energy, your enthusiasm also. You should appear to be animated, you should appear to be lively, enthusiastic in front of your audience. That is very important. That is your body language, which is going to speak a lot. So you should appear to be enjoying speaking in front of the public. Next is modulating your vocal tone. Wherever you have to emphasize certain points, you have to put an extra stress, you have to emphasize on. You have to modulate your pitch, you have to modulate the you can say speed. Okay, that is important to avoid the monotony. Okay, our speech should appear to be lively. There should be no static pace, or there should be no static pitch. It should be modulated. One more important aspect which every professional should take care of is the time management. Okay, you have to time your speech according to the allotted duration. Okay, so timing the speech in advance is important to make sure that it meets the allotted time. You should not overrun the allotted time, and you should not finish much before the allotted time. Both the things, extremes, should be avoided. And humor should not be missed. Whenever you are there to face a public, you are speaking to a public, you can never be all technical, you can never be all, you can say, very serious, very formal. You have to have certain pinches of humor, certain pinches of passion to keep the things lively. It should appear to be a human interaction. So you have to use humor to enliven your talk. Okay, and at the end, that reviewing the feedback with the help of the responses of the audience, as well as you are going to utilize that feedback to modify your approach or your style for future. So you must review the feedback to help you modify your future public speeches. To sum up, public speaking is a soft skill that requires excellent communication skills, enthusiasm, and the ability to engage with an audience. Okay, and the candidate with strong public speaking skills are in demand for many occupations that require the ability to speak to a group. Okay, public speaking skill is advantageous in mostly all the professions. The substance, style, and staging are the three aspects of a successful public speech. We have to put attention to these three aspects. And audience analysis is the basic factor that is going to help us to prepare the substance, to modulate the style, and to make an impactful staging during public speech. So, that's it with this topic. I hope you've understood the crux of this topic, and you are going to lessen your stage fear. Okay. Thank you all. Jai Hind.